Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Andrea Little Mason, affectionately known as Dr. Doula, and I want to thank you for spending 5 minutes with me. So today I'm going to finish talking about my weekend and all the Spanish on all the things. My husband and I were fortunate enough to attend an event for his company that his company was invited to, and that happens a lot. But this time my husband was saying, I told so-and-so that mi esposa habla español. My wife speaks Spanish. I'm like, no. He's like, I did. And she's going to bring her husband. And so you be prepared. I just want you to be prepared. Now he says this as I'm getting dressed to go. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, babe. I already have to put a lot of effort forth just to be in a good space. And now I have to speak Spanish. I was not excited about it, particularly because I it said like me pongo nerviosa. You know, I put on nervousness. That's how it said when I have to speak a los nativos, when I have to speak to those who speak Spanish natively. And sometimes it's because cuando hablo español, a ellos no hablan español a mí. You know, they don't, when I try to speak Spanish to them, they won't speak Spanish back to me. They'll speak English instead. And so actually on Saturday night, I got to ask someone about that. And I told her, I was like, in Spanish, I said, when I try to speak Spanish to native Spanish speakers, they won't speak back to me. And I told her that in Spanish. She said, ah. And she said, perhaps, in Spanish, she said, perhaps it's because the same way that you want to try to speak Spanish to them, they want to try to speak English to you. And I was like, that makes sense, you know? That makes sense. I met her and I met her husband. She's someone my husband knows and had encouraged to come or invited to come. And it was really nice. That was really nice. But the coolest thing was speaking al doctor, to the doctor. And he happened to be an OBGYN, which is amazing because I have, that's my area, dealing with pregnant women. And so we're standing there, and I don't think my husband even knew him. He was just, at this point, hunting down Spanish-speaking people. It was just ridiculous. And, my wife, she speaks Spanish. I'm like, my eyes get bucked really big. Like, gosh, here we go again. But I had the longest conversation with him. He's from Peru. He came here, I don't like the number 50. 50, I think it's 50. That's a number I don't like. I don't know why. But he came 50 years ago. We talked about his family, and so it was really funny. I would speak to him in Spanish, and he would speak to me in English because he said, I've been here 50 years, but my Spanish is not so good. My wife's is very good, but my Spanish is not so good. And he talked about how his children knew like 3, 4 languages for one, 5 or 6 languages for the other. And so it was really wonderful. And he was saying, you know, oh, you speak very clearly. I was asking him, did you speak English when you came? He said, no, I spoke like you. He said, but you have to keep talking. And I was like, okay. He said, because you speak very clearly. I can understand you. He said, you have to keep talking. And so that was just so wonderful for me. That was really a highlight because I mentioned before I had a really tough end of the week when it came to some things I had been planning to do with Spanish to do that have to do with my business. And so I was like, I'm just going to, I don't know what else to do right now, but I'm just going to keep speaking. I'm going to keep speaking. So yeah, I wanted to share that just for those that are trying to get out of their comfort zone. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it, keep doing it. So let's see, today I'm going to tell you more about the Daughters of the African Diaspora Alliance. I'm not going to say all of it today, but I'm going to show you something that I took for the Sengomas and Yababeladisis, that's the healers and the traditional midwives. I'm going to show you in isiZulu, that's how it's said. I'm going to show you what it's a wristlet basically, and I don't know, I might add a photo to this just so you can see what it looks like. But I've found it. I've started Daughters of the African Diaspora Alliance through our non-for-profit home. Harmonic Connections Plus, my husband and I, we center a lot around indigenous knowledge systems and things like that. And so there's a subsidiary of that is Doula Alliance. And one of the things that was done was we have women here who are a part of the alliance. And when I went to speak in South Africa, in South Africa, I took them these wristlets and I told them there are women on the other side of the world who are wearing these wristlets with you. And so I gave them to the people in the room. But I'll tell more about that later. I just want to show you what the women did. And I asked my South African mom, Mama Maureen. I was like, Mama Maureen, what is this? And they did something with my wrist. Like they just came over and started doing this thing, bouncing their hands on. You'll see it. And I didn't know what it was. And I asked Mama Maureen, I was like, what is this? And she's like, I don't know. I think it's like just like a thing like kids would do, like almost like a ring around the rosy, or the little chant that kids do things, whatever. And they did that with me. And it was really awesome because there were so many ways that they just welcomed me and received me. So it was very rewarding. And I want to share it with you. Thank you for spending 5 minutes with me. Talk to you soon. I love you guys. Thank you.